to force some kind of reaction from Navi. That's what they want to do with their lane. So whether that be going aggressive and trying to apply pressure to the... It's kind of tough though, because their farmer is going to be melee. So maybe Nip feel okay just putting the Juggernaut and then putting the Witch Doctor in the safe lane, and maybe they just send the Undying or the Axe to the off lane on their own. It kind of depends on what they want to accomplish with this early game.
Indeed, and here we go, getting ourselves set for the second best of one, of course, of the day. This game, the winner will play up against Birdie United in the first best of three, and the loser will go against Basically Unknown for a second chance at staying within the competition here at the DreamHack Summer Dream League LAN Finals. But here we go, the good luck have funds have been called, and it's going to be Navi here, of course, heading up to this top room, and NIP themselves, well, they're heading down to the bottom, so it doesn't look like we're going to see any kind of early action unless NIP change their mind here. And well, with Vera leading the charge, they might very well look to fight level 1. Now, level 1 fights with these two drafts. Who comes out on top in your ideas?
I think you don't really want to fight level 1 if you're Navi.
Okay.
Like the biggest thing is if you're Navi and you do fight at level 1, the Chilling Touch, you have to focus fire one hero. Like you have to Chilling Touch your team and just blow them up immediately. If that doesn't happen, between Spin, Decay, and having Cask as well, I think that the level 1 maybe slightly favors Nip. But again, it comes down to execution. It looks like we might not see that engagement anyway.
Yeah, it looks like NIP are just going to go for the safe route. They're going to head down to the bottom and claim that one for themselves. But in terms of lanes, they have left Jonas and Fan up here. So it looks like they are going to run on the aggressive NIP.
Yeah. It's kind of expected. I thought maybe they wouldn't do this because, again, they do have the melee farming hero on the Juggernaut. But I also think that was kind of a necessary pick. Because what good is all this aggressive early game?
They'll just be grouping up and pushing.
Yeah.
They won't want to kind of give Navi the headroom to continue into the later portions of the game.
They do want to play hyper-aggressive. Yeah. I think we're going to see very standard Nip play here out of the Jonas and Fan Axe. He will likely just buy smoke as soon as he has his Blink Dagger and just try to look for fights.
I mean, we're seeing they're coming up on the side, the Comfort Heroes indeed. I think NIP, they're going to be very happy with the heroes they've grabbed, but at the same time, Navi, they've got some very comfortable picks that I'm sure they've also got some impressive stats on. So lane-wise from Navi as well, they are going to avoid the aggressive tri lane. It's just going to be Funnick dealing with the aggression, and they're going to send the aggression themselves on the top lane with the Earthshaker, the Ice, the AA, and the Leshrac. So in terms of kind of lanes, and what looks like NIP, they're going to react to this. They send the Undying up top. Is this just going to be a dual lane situation, or do you think we might see a full lane swap round?
I think they could leave it as a dual lane for now.
Okay.
It depends on how hard Navi try to go for them. If a good fissure into a stun comes out from Sonico and Havos, they could very easily get a kill with that Chilling Touch. But again, it kind of depends. These heroes are pretty beefy. It might even take 2 rounds to be able to actually secure any of those kills. And bottom lane, it will mean that Funnick is going to get more farm and more experience, of course, on top of that. So he could be the X factor for Navi. Like, charging the middle lane might not always result in a kill, but it will allow Dendi to farm. Charging top could actually just kill them if they're under a tower and they don't have any creeps. So it's always going to be important for Nip to keep that in mind as well.
It's going to be interesting to see how the mid lane progresses as well. Limp on his Puck, Dendi on his Shadow Fiend. Who do you reckon will come out on top here?
The early waves are very important for any Shadow Fiend matchup, and as of right now, Dendi is actually doing a very good job at maintaining, and he's even doing quite a bit of damage to Limp, even looking for that third potential raise to try to go for the first blood. So I would say right now, Dendi is leading, not by a huge margin though.
Bottom lane, a bit of aggression traded between the sides there. Funnick's going to be fine, a little bit too tanky for the duo to pick off, and Seal Kid will keep himself safe as well. Snake are going to find himself in Illusion Arena. He's going to be able to do too much with that in terms of rotations and ganks. And CS-wise, Warst on this offlane, he's having a pretty good time. Undying an Axe.
And they coil Dendi under the tower and they try to dive him. Like, that's the only way he dies right now. And I think that having him just in his free farm situation and also having your top lane kind of lose, that's a little bit concerning.
We'll see how it all pans out as we're ready to get ourselves back on with this one. And we're seeing Earthshaker moving towards the mid lane, maybe thinking if he can try and do something against him, but it's going to be a little bit too tricky. And the wards indeed from NIP will spot out any kind of movement from this top lane from Navi. So it's going to be hard to catch out Limp, and it's going to give him the space. And so far 7-3, still losing out against the Dendi SF though, sitting on 11-6 at the moment. He's doing very well against the pot.
And once you get to this point, any mid laner just starts losing. It doesn't really matter how good you are, you just simply can't outlast hit the hero who hits for like, what, 20 more base damage at this point? And it's only going to get worse too, that's the other thing. The Shadow Fiends on Radiant side in general have a tendency to just push the wave out no matter what, especially once you get to like 5 and 7, just to ensure that you can either stack the jungle for yourself or you don't put yourself in a position where you can easily be ganked. And since Nip are doing a 2-1-2, anytime a hero goes missing, it's much more obvious. Like, you can just notice, oh, well, one support is missing from this lane. They're probably wrapping around on me. I'll just play safe.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a charge onto Limps. We also see Seneko down the high ground waiting to go in with a Fisher, but the charge is going to be cancelled, and I think they realise that Limp, he knows what's going on here. He saw the movement from the top lane thanks to the warden. It's
Even just
impossible to catch out.
Even just that pressure, though, like the fact that he has to sit back and watch Dendi farm, like that's painful. You don't want that to happen. And Limp is a very, very good puck player, so the faster he gets to his dagger, the better off Nip are going to be.
I mean, farm-wise for the two position ones, we're seeing both Era and Havorst on a similar level of farm, 20 CS at the moment. So they're finding that the space that they kind of need. And I guess it's kind of a question on who can do more. Where we're talking about doing something mid lane. NLP, they're looking for a rotation onto Dendi with Silky just walking in with the cast. There'll be a TP reaction from Seneko. Na'Vi, they turn it though, and Dendi will find first blood there, taking down Silky on the Witch Doctor.
Very nice reaction coming in from the Shaker, planting that fissure right where he needed it. Handskin's kind of in no man's land right now too. Dendi picking up a DD.
He wants the kill. He's not quite going to be able to find it. Dendi's able to bottle up, and now Hanskin coming in. Can they do anything here? Limp's out of mana. They can't go forward. The tombstone's being dropped, but Dendi will just turn around, disperse off the zombies, and Na'Vi, they actually find themselves a second kill as they come in with a rotation. 2 for 0 and Funning. Same time, finding a couple of bashes onto Era. But Na'Vi, it's a nice lead for them to have 4.5 minutes in, and NIP just giving away 2 kills that they're pretty painful, losing the puck as well for a good amount of time. Bottom lane, he charges in, he's not going to follow out through, looking for the bashes. He's going to let Era live today. Funny.
That's not the kind of start you want for Nip. I mean, losing the first blood, that was already bad enough, but you lose a secondary hero because Hanskin was in the river. I think they were probably just trying to go for the rune, and unfortunately, since Dendi got it, they didn't manage to kill him with the orb damage. All of a sudden, the fight was just like a total disaster at that point. And then you see like Era even getting moderately zoned by the Spirit Breaker, who was in a 1v2 for a very long time. Like, Funnick doesn't really need farm in this lane. Just getting 6 is enough, because he can hold down anyone for like 3 or 4 seconds once he gets his ultimate, and that can just result in a straight-up kill. So I definitely think that Na'Vi are getting quite a bit out of this early game.
Well, Seneko is going to make a movement here down towards the bottom lane.
Funnick?
Maybe he wants to wrap round towards the mid lane.
He's okay.
Funnick just charging away there. He's not going to follow for all the Fisher. The raise is bringing Limp low. He's going to be able to bottle himself back up. And it looks like he will be fine here for the time being in the mid lane.
Dendi's going to hit level 7 soon, and that just means double raise, creep wave dead, can stack the jungle if you want. You can go for... I don't even think Yule's build is that bad this game. Or you could go for mech as well. That's the other like go-to.
Silky's found Seneko, and he's going to have backup as well as Limbs coming through. They'll drop the Dream Core, but Seneko's going to go for the TP with the Maledicts. Is he going to be enough damage? It is! And they do manage to find a kill there, bringing down the Earthshaker.
That almost looked like he was going to get out. And then it would have been like, oh dear, that would not have been the start. But they get themselves on the board. Very nice pick off there. They did have to expend Coil for it though, which means that Dendi's going to be safe just a little bit longer here in this early game. And the longer time passes, the more and more farm he gets. Fortunately for Nip, Era's managed to maintain a very good level of farm as well. In top lane, we can see them chasing in.
Yeah, Jonathan Fan moving in, he wants to find a Force, and he'll get him here with the Taunt. There's going to be the cold feet thrown down to Jonathan Fan. It doesn't matter, they bring down a Force, and now Jonathan Fan will he live through this one? Allstar's trying to find it, but he's not going to be able to do it. Hanskin looking for the body block. Seneko's moved in as well, finds the Fisher onto 2. Jonathan Fan will be able to get himself out, and it will just be Havor's dying there. But again, bringing it for 2 for 2. They nearly find Funnick as well. Funnick will charge away and will escape there on the bottom lane, but bringing it even now on the map, 2 for 2, NIP and Na'Vi.
Any kill that Nip can get right now is huge, especially in this safe lane, where they've been getting their farm restricted so heavily that Jonas and Fan right now, he's only sitting on Tranks and 700. They're going for him though.
Yeah, Seneko wants to find something this time. He will find the Fisher that will block him off. Cold Feet, the Lightning Storm come down. They'll bring down Jonas and Van. They're looking for Hanskin as well. He's trying to run. He's got the backup of Era who's rotated in. He's got an Omni Slash, doesn't want to use it, and it's going to be a Havorst getting a double kill there. And, well, he's going to be happy with that one after being taken down by the side of NIP, returning to lane and picking up 2 kills for himself.
The Blink Dagger is so important for Axe. Like right now, he had to buy Circlet and 2 branches just to be able to finish up his magic wand, because he knew that he was going to lose gold anyway. So that puts him farther and farther away from that Blink Dagger timing, which he's going to desperately need for this mid game if he wants to have any sort of an impact. And Puck is kind of in the same boat. Like Limp, it's 8 minutes in. He's working his way towards what I imagine are treads, but he buys the robe instead because it's the stat piece that gives him extra damage. But not having these blinks, like that gives Na'Vi a lot of freedom to be able to just run around the map and continue farming on their cores.
Top ring, Vorst he's going to give a couple of punches to Lim. Hanskins moving in, they drop the Dream Core, the Tombstone of Vorst, it's a trap! He's going to get the split off onto Silkin, it doesn't matter! He loses his life there as Lim's able to take the kill, and it's going to go towards his little fun to create that Blink Dagger, but well, Vorst just kind of getting baited out and caught out there by the 3-man at Nip.
Those kills are godsends though for Lim. Like, he needs those desperately at this point. It's not that he's farming like bad or anything, it's just if you compare it to what Dendi's doing, I mean, he got first blood and he's got 61 CS. Of course it's a Shadow Fiend, but he's gonna have his mech, which he is making his way towards probably before Limp even has like half of his blink gold. And they really want to dive our
Yeah, look at this top lane, they're diving right past the tower here, trying to find the AA. Arrow's got an Omni Slash here, at the same time there's a dive going on bottom, they'll use the Omni Slash top, they find the kill onto AA, but at the bottom lane there's a fight going on. Split out onto Jonas and Fan, they're trying to find him, the paralyzing cast bouncing between Snako. What can they do here? They found the corner to Snako, maybe they can find his kill, he's going to look for the TP out, they've got enough damage, the dunk's going to be there from Jonas and Fan, and they'll find the Earthshaker.
That's 2 times that Sonico is like 0.2 seconds away from teleporting out and just dies. First time it was to a Maledict and a Waning Rift, that time it was to a Dunk. Now Dendi though, he's got a DD, he's applying some pressure here to this tier 1 mid. They have Glyph available, and Limp is going to have Coil and about 10, so he does need to be a bit careful about how he goes about this, but... Oh, bottom lane, Jonas and Fan could be dropping here.
He's getting low, ticking down his Ice Blast. I think that's going to be enough, it should be, and it is indeed. Artstar manages to pop the axe, and well, that's not a kill you want to be giving away, especially when you're trying to work towards that Blink mid lane. Dendi, I mean, you're talking about his farm, top of the net worth at the moment, coming up to 5k in terms of total value, but he gets himself in, and Limp's actually able to get the deny in the tower. There's going to be a charge, they're going to cancel it here, they don't want to go too ham, and the double damage rune, of course, just about to wear off here on Dendi.
Yeah, he still had spin. I think if Era didn't have spin mana, they could have pursued that, but... Oh, never mind, Funnick didn't have ulti. Okay, that would have been a foolish ploy, even without mana. I thought he might have had another strike up, but not having it means no go. But Dendi getting closer and closer to his mech. Once he has it, I think they can just take the tier 1s with ease. Like Nip, again, the Blink Dagger timing's so crucial. Like, they need them, like, now, ideally, is when you would want them, because that's like the normal fast blink timings, right? Anywhere from 9 to 10, maybe even 11 minutes.
There's going to be an Ice Blast. Will it connect? It will indeed. The Nether Strike's there with the bashes. 17% holding it in place. There'll be a TP coming in from Hansken. He's trying to turn this one around, but Funnick just charges past him, looking for the gold, looking for the glory. He'll bring down Era. They lose the Undying here as well. And now Jonas and Fan turning up, gets the taunt onto Snako. Sealkid's there as well. Drops the Maledict down as the Earthshaker. Snako's trying to do this out, but Dendi gets himself a double kill. Looks for the Requiem. He's not going to pop it. Realizes that Snako's a dead one. He tries to get himself out. Now the Dream Core's being dropped by Limp, but they can't chase this one down. Dendi will just take the stun to the face, walk himself back, and that will be 3 for 1 there for the side of Na'Vi.
It wasn't so bad for Nip though. They do get some extra money on Jonas and Fan. Like, he's at 1400 gold now. He only needs around 800 more, a little bit less, to be able to secure that blink. And when he does, that's when Nip are going to start being able to really make things happen. The timing is really important though for Dendi's mech on top of this. I think he has the recipe right now. He just needs the courier to be able to go up and pick it up. The difference between having the mech for a blink initiation and not having it is also very important for Na'Vi. They're going to find Jonas and Fan.
This is a big kill if they can find it with the raises, the punches, the bashes from Funnick. They'll bring down Jonas and Fan. And once again, this Blink Dagger being delayed for the axe, which is, as you were saying, incredibly costly for NIP.
I think just the early game itself has already secured Na'Vi so much room to be able to fight in this game. Like, they'll have the tier 1s most likely dead before either of the initiation heroes on Nip are able to get to their blink daggers. Like, Limp is still only sitting on 600 gold. Now, bear in mind, if Na'Vi start making mistakes and heroes get picked off, that gold swing is still going to be pretty big. So you could see a blink dagger come out even from a bad early game just on the back of 1 or 2 bad engagements. So it's not as if Nip are really in too horrible of shape at this point, but man, Na'Vi, they want this.
They want it, and they're going to go for it. Straight to Sealkid. The Ice Blast is actually going to connect after the bashes onto Sealkid, bring him into it. They're trying to find him, but he's still going to live through it. And now the TP's coming in from NIP. They want to turn this round. Dream Coil onto Soneko. They'll dunk the Earthshaker. They'll find a kill there. And Na'Vi, they get nothing out of that little bit of aggression.
Yeah, I think Dendi just decided, like, halfway through that, he's like, nah, this isn't a great idea. I'm just bailing. Because he was already halfway mid by the time they lost their first hero. But now it looks like Nip, for the first time, they want to have a bit of their own aggression being applied to the side of Na'Vi. They're going to push into the tier 1 top, while Dendi is kind of... You don't really hear the term split pushing mid a whole lot, but that's pretty much what he's doing.
There's going to be TPs coming into the top. Soneko, not quite hit 6 yet, doesn't have the Echo Slam. He's got the Fisher and the Ice Blast connecting onto all 4 of them there. And that is going to be able to stop the aggression and push them back for a bit. Jonas and Fanny's looking for Dendi, finds the call. There's a few creeps there. He's getting the spins, but Dendi will pop the mech. Now turning around with a few raises, bringing Jonas and Fan low. There's going to be a charge across the map from Funnick now. Does he go for this one? He hasn't got the nether strike, and it might be a little bit too deep, and it is indeed. Funnick will cancel that. But I mean, Jonas and Fan, he's got to be careful. We've seen him, he's trying to get this Blink Dagger in terms of funds. How are we actually doing on the Axe? Is he closing in on the 2k? He's getting there. Coming up to 1700. He's got to be very careful that he doesn't drop again now on this road.
The kills that he's gotten in this game have kept him afloat. Like, without those handful of kills that he got on the Earthshaker, for example, like, I think Sonica right now is 0-4. Yeah, he's died a handful of times, but without that, Jonas and Fan's game would have been so much worse. So it's very fortunate that he's been able to put himself in those positions to be able to secure some kills with that ulti. Oh, Jonas and Fan.
Oh, there's the bash. Is the nether strike as well. There'll be a TP coming in and an Ice Blast flying through. Jonas and Fan trying to juke it out, but the Ice Blast will pass over. The debuff connects and will tick him over the edge, bringing down the Axe. And well, we're talking about painful deaths, and again, knocking him back from this Blink Dagger. It's not going to be great. Fisher onto Era, now with the charge. Maybe Na'Vi can look for some more action. They're sending TPs up. Dendi's joining the fray as well, and Era, well, he's got to get himself out here. He's starting to run, and it looks like Na'Vi won't chase at least. Funnick's still charging through. Is he going to follow this one out? It looks like he is. He's going the whole hog onto Era and looking for maybe some action, but no, Hanskin is going to scare him off with the old decay. And still, well, at the moment, 10-7 between the sides, and AA's got the Midas now.
The fact that Artstyle has his Midas and there's no blinks yet, I mean, I know I keep coming back to the same thing, but it really is, like, they absolutely need those items. Without them, their initiation potential and their way to take fights is just non-existent. They have to let Na'Vi walk into you, which, as many teams have experienced, you don't want to really let Na'Vi play their own game if you can absolutely help it, and that's kind of what they have to do right now.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, Dendi's farm, look at his net worth. 8.2k. Highest on the side of NIP is 0 on 4 points. That's a massive difference. 15 minutes into the game, and they might lose Lonus and Fanny as well. He's going to pop the Echo Samson Echo, which will allow Dendi just turn around, give him a punch, bring him down. Steelkid's going to throw out the cost. Maybe they can find something in return here. They're going in onto Dendi. Ice Blast is going to fly through. Will connect with the Witch Dogs. He's popped down the Death Ward. It's enough damage. They brought down AA. They might find Dendi here as well as Era's turned up here with the spins. Will get himself a double kill, and now they're going to look for more. Seneca's going to look to TP out. Have they got the damage? No, this time Seneca will escape, but it's still a double kill for Era, and something that NIP in the situation they really needed that, and now we do have to blink online for Limp.
Those kills were huge. I think Dendi probably could have just walked away. Maybe he overestimated his own tankiness. Charge here on Hanskin.
Yeah, Funnick's going on Hanskin. Era's going on to a Force. They'll lose Hanskin. Now Limp's turning up. He's going to look for this one, and they'll find her Force. They might even find Funnick as well, chasing this one down. He's got nowhere to run. He's got nowhere to hide. He's got the stick charges to pop. Era's trying to chase it, and now Funnick, the best defense is the offense. It doesn't work this time, though. They lose the Spirit Breaker as well. The Ice Blast won't connect as Limp just casually blinks himself back to the base. But again, these are massive kills for NIP.
That was a huge gold swing. Like, Limp went from having nothing like 2 or 3 minutes ago to I now have a Blink Dagger and 800 gold. But that's what I was talking about. It doesn't really take much more than Na'Vi overextending maybe 1 or 2 times, and then all of a sudden you get your blinks going. Era starts to get more farm. He's making his way towards Yasha right now. It's a pretty old school build that he's doing, but no Mask of Madness. Just going to go for the drums straight into the SOI, I would imagine. And after that, I mean, fighting in the late game against Shadow Fiend, Juggernaut's great, because you can just Omni Slash at any point, and it's very hard for the Shadow Fiend to deal with that particular ulti, so they do have their tools as the game kind of stretches on to be able to deal with the cores of Na'Vi. However, Na'Vi still are leading by a bit. Yes. It's going to take like maybe 1 more of those fights, and I think that Nip will be back on even ground.
And, well, we can see from the board at the moment, it's about a 4,000 net worth advantage for the side of Na'Vi. XP not so much, just under 2k. There's still the potential for NIP to swing this one back in their favour. And Jonas and Fan, how's he doing on the Blink Dagger? For now, how are we seeing him do now? He's getting
200 away.
He's very close. Yep. And if they can get this online before the next fight, it's going to be a very, 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 very good looking fight for NIP if they can get the jumps.
They have a lot of squishy heroes on Na'Vi. Like, we just even saw Shadow Fiend having the Ogre Club mech, even Aquila, 1400 health. He still died pretty easily, right? Like, he got Maledict cast on him, and then the Death War was dropped. He managed to kill Sealkid and pop his mech, but after that, he still just couldn't live through the damage output. But maybe once he gets BKB, that'll be enough to keep him in fighting shape.
And there's your blink here for Axe. And look at the career out. They've got a smoke. Are we going to see any kind of action coming out from NIP with this item pickup? And indeed we are. NIP realise this is a perfect time to get the jump. Dendi, quite handily for the side of Na'Vi, has just picked up his BKB though. And of course the side of NIP might not quite realise this. And Na'Vi themselves, they want to fight. They want to fight. They want to go for
find one.
Smoke on smoke. Who's going to get the jump here? Limp's leading on the front lines. He knows the force there. As the splitter comes out, there's going to be the charge onto Limp, and the bashes are there, controlling the puck. Now they're trying to turn this one around. Jonas and Van getting the call onto a force. Funny's going to drop with the resets from Rivera. They'll lose the force as well. It's going to be a 2-4. Nice blast come through. Era trying to spin themselves out. Looks like NIP want to kind of disengage for the time being. Dendi has used the BKB. Maybe NIP can go back into this one. Limp moving forward. Is he going to blink into this one? They don't have. They've already used all the ults. Vincere will come out, and that looks like it will be that. But NIP getting the edge there with the Omni Slash and with the jumps in from NIP.
Yeah, Jonas is in a really nice position. As soon as Dendi BKB'd, I think he caught the Leshrac and Shadow Fiend in the same call. So the Shadow Fiend wasn't able to cast his Requiem throughout that entire team fight, and they kill 2 heroes pretty much before the taunt even ends. So at that point, it's already, as soon as the BKB wears off on Shadow Fiend, Na'Vi are forced to run. Really nice engagement coming out from NIP. Even with the loss of their axe, more than worth it.
Indeed, well, 19 minutes in still. Dendi sitting at the top of the net worth, but the fact that after that, the 2 next heroes, both on the side of NIP, Limp and Era at the moment. Dendi just looks to clear some ancients, keeping himself up there. He's got the BKB, and now after the BKB, what do you reckon we can expect to see Dendi to look towards?
I don't know if tanking a whole bunch is really the call here. A lot of Shadow Fiends will go for like SNY or Scotty, something like that. You also have like Butterfly Lifesteal route. I think Scotty isn't too bad against these melee heroes, for example. It's really good for kiting like Axe and Undying and Juggernaut. That's what leads me to think that Scotty is like the most go-to choice. It's a lot of gold for an item that doesn't really give you a ton of damage output. So we're kind of hoping that the AA and Leshrac can kind of salvage the DPS loss from that build, but I still think it's a very good option.
Looks like NIP, they want to find some action. They're heading towards the top lane. Funnick, he was on his own, but he's going to come out with this creep wave, and he needs to be careful. NIP, they've got this lane ward down. They know that he was coming out there. And he backs up. He's going to keep himself safe, and it looks like NIP won't find anything in that region as Funnick keeps himself close to that tier 1. Falling to 20 minutes. I mean, at this spot, do NIP need to keep? Do they need to continue to look for the fights? In your idea, they need to keep the aggression on if they want to kind of run the lineup, or are they kind of safe to hang back here?
I think the heroes that fall off on their team pretty much are only the Undying.
Oh, Funnick, he's all alone. He's all alone. They don't know the smoke is coming through. NIP. He's going to make the jump. Funnick trying to hide in the trees. Now Vorse, down Snako coming, but Vorse is going to walk right into the 3 of them. Tombstone's going to get dropped, and NIP they're ready to fight. Limp's going to get bashed up here by Funnick as he charges straight through onto the zombie, onto the Undying. Vorse doing a lot of damage, but the Omni Slash Romero doing more. They're actually going to lose the puck here. Jonas and fans found the call onto Snako, but they're finding by the Tombstone. Dendi, he's been able to take down the Tombstone, and now it's Na'Vi coming out on top with a double kill for Dendi. Handscam will be able to TP out from the tree line. So will Silky. No! The bashes are there. The Fisher comes through, so Snako. 3 heroes to drop on NIP, and Na'Vi, they were ready for that one, taking a massive swing against NIP.
Havos just seems to always find himself in the worst possible situations in this game. I don't know what it is, but he always seems to be on the wrong side of an Omni Slash or just between a couple of heroes and NIP and ends up dropping. Fortunately for him, that time, it was a favorable trade, so he didn't give away his life for nothing. And he ends up only 2 Bloodstone charges down instead of 3, because I think he got credit for 1 before he went down. Or somebody died in the area, one or the other. But still, Na'Vi looking pretty good here. Still kind of wondering what Dendi's item choice... Oh, he actually bought something. What did he buy? Okay, he bought a Blink. Alright, typical Dendi. This is also a very good choice if you have a lot of stuns on your team. Like you have the Spirit Breaker can go in, charge, ulti, you can blink in Requiem on top of it. It's pretty much a guaranteed kill on anyone. And Shaker is pretty much the same. So he's going for more of the Wombo combo build. He's not looking to tank up, he's just looking to fight. And Blink also is still a decent farming item if you use it for like blinking around the jungle, you know, keeping yourself safe and flip pushing. A very nice all-around choice.
Blink Dagger has now been picked up by Snako as well on the Earthshaker.
Yep.
So, pretty big stuff. NIP, they're looking for that BKB as well. NIP, Jonas fan looks like he might drop here, and he will do indeed as the Ice Blast, the Nether Strike come through. More than enough damage to bring down the Axe. And Funnick so far, I've got to be honest, he's been creating a lot of trouble and a lot of problems for NIP in these fights.
Yeah, he wasn't as active as I thought he would be during the early game, though. Because I was looking at their lanes and I'm like, heck, even a charge on a puck can make a pretty big difference. You make him waste his phase shift, you let Dendi get a range to raise, you might be able to go for kills. You charge top, and I mean, there's only 1 disable between the 2 of those heroes, so you could just easily dive. But he favored getting level 6, over trying to gank, which I think given the fact that Nip did a 2-1-2 made sense, like logically getting that EXP. Might have to hold that thought though, Funnick.
Yeah, they want to do something about this, don't get the vision, but he's able to get the charge up, paralleling Cascad's Roost, holding him in position. He's going to look to TP out for this one, but the Death Ward, Eric, the Dream Coil, they want Funnick dead, and they'll get it. Bottom lane, there's still a fight going on between Era and Snake. He's looking for the down here with the play Fury. Can he finish this one off? No, because, Jonas and Van Gogh tries to look for the top, but he'll find the dunk. It doesn't matter, they take down 2 there, 2 for nothing for the side of NIP, and Jonas and Fan just turning up in the nick of time there to help out Era.
Those dunks, it seems like every time he gets picked off, he manages to get a counter kill. Like, regardless of whether it's before he dies or after he dies, he seems to immediately be able to find something after the fact, which is great for him. He's managed to keep himself afloat in this game, but still only a 2-kill lead for the side of Na'Vi. Dendi up here with a double damage, potentially looking to try to make something happen, but I don't really know if it's that great of an idea, considering the fact that Juggernaut has Omni Slash. That's one of the downsides, I think, to the build that Dendi is going for. Is you're not really that gigantic right-click threat with a Blink Dagger, a Mech, and a BKB. It's more like, in the team fights, my Requiem will usually be useful because I can put myself in a great position to use it. But if I blink and I mess up, I put myself in a spot where Omni Slash could just kill me, like just straight up, and then I might not get any help from my team to be able to soak the damage. So that's one concern that you will have going on into this game if you're Dendi.
I mean, certain things are looking very good for Na'Vi. The fact that Dendi's still farming like an absolute madman. If we have a look on the old AA, how's he doing towards that Aghanims? He was closing in the art style. He's always got 2 components, and he's got enough to pick up the 3rd. So we are going to see the Aghanims online almost certainly before that 30-minute mark, and that's going to make it very hard for NIP to fight into them.
Yeah, that item is a game ruiner for a push. It's like you just get a couple of people clipped by that, and all of a sudden, well, I guess we have to wait, or at least go back to base with 1 or 2 heroes. They do have Healing Ward, though. So the play around for Nip is, don't drop the Healing Ward until after the A Blast comes out. So that way we can make sure we fully utilize the ward in itself, and if we want to try to go for Roshan or something like that, you can also just like solo smoke the Juggernaut and try to do it that way. But with Era having gone the route of BKB, he's not going to kill Roshan that fast. He can solo it, but it's going to be pretty obvious if he's just going off the map for a long period of time. And Na'Vi doing some dewarding here. Fight could break out.
Lead on the high ground, maybe looking to fight NIP. Can they get a jump onto this Na'Vi? They're heading into the Roche Pit, maybe thinking about it, but the orb will come through. Scout some of them out, and now it's actually going to be Na'Vi jumping straight in with a charge onto Hansken. Dendi with the damage onto the Witch Doctor will bring him down. Pops the BKB and continues to fight. Now he just turns towards Hansken with the punches and the races. This is a double kill for Dendi. And can they find anything more here? Era's been clipped by the Ice Blast. He's going to have to back out with Limp. And Na'Vi just getting the superior jump onto NIP there. There's going to be a charge to Jonas and the Fisher stopping the TP. What a play from Na'Vi. They're going to look to clean this one up as well. With the bashes, the cold feet, everything coming down. There's nothing that NIP can do to stop it. As Na'Vi take a 3rd kill. And now they've got the opening to go for Roshan as well, Draskell.
They do resurrect pretty quickly though. The only person who won't be able to defend this from Nip is going to be Jonas and Fan. But I guess maybe they're looking for some counter push. Nice Yules coming out here from Lim, stopping the charge of Funnick.
Indeed, and it was a good job it did because the Ice Blast was on point. It's been a bit of a tricky situation there for Limp and Na'Vi, bringing Roshan down to half health. The pings are coming out. They don't have this axe, of course, for 23 seconds, and he is pretty much the big initiator error. He does find himself a cheeky little kill there, picks off the Earthshaker on the sidelines, but still the action at the pit. Na'Vi, they will find it. There's not going to be a steal today. The all coming through, the tombstone being dropped, but it's just a little bit too late for NIP to jump into.
Are they going to be able to catch out this Ancient Apparition, or are they just not going to chase?
It's going to be a hard fight because Na'Vi, they're waiting. And they don't have the axe. Axe is back up now. And maybe we'll start to see NIP return to their aggressive form. But 21-17, Na'Vi with the edge. Now the fact that they've got that Aegis on Havorst, it's going to be a hard fight for NIP.
Not only just the Aegis, but right now Arsart is 50 gold away from having his... Oh no, he sells a TP. Okay, so now he has Aghanims completed. He just needs to send the courier out to the secret shop. That item completion makes Nip going high ground just an absolute nightmare. And I say high ground, but let's be honest, Na'Vi have only lost 1 tier 1 tower at this point. Nip have lost all of their tier 1s. They lost Roshan, and they lost the fight before Roshan even happened.
That's just completed Skadi on Dendi now.
Yeah. Casual entire Skadi.
Echo indeed jumping forward. There's going to be the charge as well. Hansken, he's got nowhere to run. He will get taken down there. And now Na'Vi, what's the plan here? They're going to continue to push. I mean, at this point, they might as well, because it's going to be very hard for NIP to stop it.
I actually think Dendi might be a little bit too tanky at this point. He has 27 armor with the Vlad Zora, and he has 2300 health on Agi Treads with the BKB. even a full Omni Slash from Era doesn't kill that. Like, they need to be able to have multiple heroes jump Dendi with no outside help to be able to kill him. That's a problem. Like, how do they actually get enough damage out in that period of time and a 5 versus 5 to kill Dendi?
Indeed, that's the question. Well, Haystream is going to be bottled up, and well, that's going to be snagged straight away by Dendi. Going to look for any kind of play with this. I don't know, they look for it for the time being. More content with NIP kind of walking towards them. Smokes are being picked up, so maybe we will see a team look for an opening and look to get a jump. And I mean, at this point, NIP
probably just avoid him at this point, because if you look at the net worth, like Dendi's sitting at 17.3k, Era's under 12. So there's like a 5,000 net worth discrepancy. That's pretty much the entirety of the Scotty that Dendi bought, right? Like a 600 or 700 gold difference off an entire item. Like, that's the problem, is like Era just doesn't have the farm, and he had to make BKB. So with BKB, he's not increasing his farm rate at all. Like, he went for the Yasha, he went for the drums. I think those items are fine. The BKB says to me, he's really concerned that he's not going to be able to deal any damage outside of spin and ulti because of the magic damage output of Alesh. And that part also logically makes sense, but it's not like we saw in the first game where Sing Sing was playing AM. He doesn't have another farming item. So buying a BKB actually stunts his farm significantly, and if he can't use it to fight, then the BKB doesn't do anything. So I'm worried that Nip might not be able to recover fast enough with the Shadow Fiend's level of farm.
Nip are going to have to do something here as Na'Vi, they're ready to try and break the high ground. Onto the tier 3 they go. Havorst, of course, still with that Aegis. He's ready for round 2 if it's necessary. Well, let's see, what can I do to stop this? Dendi pummeling away at the tower. It's getting learned, it's certainly going to drop. The cast comes out, but Dendi just blinks it back, plays it cool. And now have exposed Rax. NIP, they need something big. They don't have Jonas and Fan here. I assume he does have a TP at the moment, Axe at the moment on the bot lane. He doesn't. So, okay, no, he's just TP back to the base, but it's already started as Na'Vi and Leiko going to be the triple coming out in return. They've actually brought down the Earthshaker. Now, Jonas and Fan will want to put Dendi in a force, and here's your death for Persia set. Dendi's taking no damage at all. They can't do anything against the SF. He takes down Jonas and Fan. Eric coming through the Omni Dash to bring him low. This is going to be big, and they do get the kill onto Shadow Fiend. That's a massive kill for NIP, and they might be able to find a Vorst here as well. They're going to lose Handsken. Funny Canard Style still up. It's a hard fight for NIP. Era's all on his own. There's going to be a Fisher coming out. They'll bring down the Juggernaut as well. It's going to die. There'll be a buyback from Handsken. It's a die back. They'll lose the top ranks here. And NIP, even though they get Dendi, there's a whole lot of it to the rest of the team for them to worry about, and it's just too much for them. Era, he's looking for Snake here with a Blade Fury. Can he go for this one? Limping forward, he might be able to find out top another end and keeping us still alive. Also, when we find Snaker's going to be held in place by the Yours. Era maybe close and personal will find the crit. That brings down the Earthshaker. They do manage to hold back the aggression, but that was a massive fight for Na'Vi, taking the racks as well. A very painful for NIP to situation for NIP to be in.
It was a devastating fight. Like, they had to buy back on what, 3 heroes? I think that was. They bought back on Hanskin. He died again. They bought back on Limp and Era, and they barely forced Na'Vi outside of the base after having already lost their entire set of top racks. You saw how long it took for them to kill Dendi, and what they actually had to do to kill him. He ate a fully channeled Death Ward, a full Omni, and still wasn't dead. Like, they needed to do more, or he landed like a last hit crit, I think, after the Omni ended to make sure that he went down. And that was after Limp already threw himself into the fight to try to kill with an orb and I think a Waning Rift. But either way, Na'Vi in a very dominant position at this point. And all of their heroes' net worth wise are starting to climb up over the side of Nip. That particular fight means that Nip now feel the need to smoke up. They're trying to find something, anything, after that kind of fight, because if you don't, it's too hard of a hit. Like, you can't just take that and not get anything back.
So anyways, they pick up the, I feel like we don't see every day. Funny, he's got enough and he's just brought it up a complete agony. Is now the Spirit Breaker.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad item, because so many people on the side of Nip are melee. So you have, like, Axe, Undying, Witch Doctor just casually gets picked off in the top lane by Sonico. Drops an Echo for that one, but still, kill is a kill. But they have a lot of melee, so that ulti being AoE can actually be fairly useful in some of these engagements.
And look at the net worth at this point. 20,000.
Yeah.
Favoring Navi. That's a 40k in terms of XP as well. Era's managed to find the Demon Edge, but they've got to look for it. They've got to hope for an absolute spectre. They've got to hit everything basically to take Navi down at this point, because Navi looking incredibly scary. And Dendi is working towards that AC. He might very well have that as well for the next push. And with an AC on this Shadow Fiend as well, I don't think you can get in that guy anytime soon.
It's tough. It's a very, very situation. He did manage to do it once.
I find the naked and they will end with a winning with the Blade Fury flying first. Well, they're going to chase this one down. Would be able to find it fish. It will buy him some time. Maybe Snake can get himself out of this one. Ice Block will fly through. Will connect onto them. It's going to be fake if dodge by limb. It doesn't matter. They finally kill onto Shaker now with the charge. Running. He wants to maybe continue this one. He's got the agony, but he doesn't want to go for it. Hasn't quite got the backup of the rest of his team. So, and IP do get away with that one, taking a kill. And they want to look for something more. Mr. Fan leading the way, and we are unfortunately going to have a little bit of a pause here. And the question is, oh, okay. Nice. It's not ideal.
Not ideal.
Not ideal. But, well, the question is, do it
run into Dendi? Like, anybody else is fine, but if they run into Dendi, he actually just takes so long to kill that with all other towers being alive, except for the bottom tier 1 for Navi, there's probably ample time for them to react to it just by TPs and walking there. You know? Like, it's just actually just so hard to kill that if you find him with a smoke, you probably should just run, even if he's alone. Unless you think you can kill him so fast that, okay, we can run and get out. Because a lot of the times what happens is you'll find a core that's worth a lot of money, but the time investment that it takes is too long. And then you end up giving away like 2 or 3 kills because he had a 16 rack, and that's probably what would go down if they found him. But if they can catch out, like, even Sonic is less tanky than Dendi right now. He's sitting on 2200 health. The Faker's good. You can probably kill Vos because he only has 9 armor. So even though he has a lot of health, his take is a lot of physical damage.
I mean, it kind of feels as well. Vos hasn't really had to do that much this game as well, but he's still sitting. He's second in the net worth board as well. I mean, this is going to be a big issue as well with the Lash. I mean, in terms of BKBs, who's got one of them out? Jonas and Fan was working towards is on the axe.
Yep.
Yes. He's still trying to look for that one, and it is just error, of course, with the BKB. So everyone else on the side of NIP, they're not going to be having a lot of fun against the Lash in these team fights.
No, definitely not. And I think that's why Air felt so pressured to buy that BKB. Is outside of the spin and the Omni, you just take way too much damage from being in the air, and then you also have things like Ice Blast. So he needs to make sure that he's not in that situation where just the Ancient Apparition and the Leshrac kill him by just standing around. And that's kind of the lineup that the draft for themselves. And we spoke about the AA during the drafts, saying when you get to this point, like our start, it's not even, or excuse me, art style is not even level 16. So if he gets level 16, that ulti becomes even more potent than it already is. The shadow range increases, and you take a lot more damage because it's an Aghanim's upgrade as well. But yeah, I don't know. This game is looking tough for them. Their go-to Hail Mary is like a smoke, and then maybe try to contest around the Roshan. Those are their options at this point.
I mean, do you feel like there any kind of item pick up for error that could kind of sway a massive advantage in these fights? Is he anywhere near anything? I mean, of course, he's picked up a Serena as well here on the Lash, so big items coming out for Ivan. It just feels for the side of Nip. Recently, we've not really seen any kind of massive kind of item pickups that are going to be able to change the fortune of these team fights.
It's just because when you're so far behind in gold that you can never just say one item that's going to be like, oh yeah, this item means they win the game, because they already have those core items up on their heroes anyway. We spoke at length about the importance of blinks. They got to that, and then it wasn't enough to give them a huge advantage in the game. So now that kind of point is passed, they're still down like 50,000 golden experience. We're gonna see a charge here on Jonas, some fan, but looks like fun. Like,
yeah, the counter to the charge, but the echoes down in the nether strike follow through, and well, he's gonna buy back straight away for this one. Innocent wants to make sure he's there for the defense, and not back themselves. I mean, we saw them blow up an axe in that seconds.
Yeah. Well, the buyback just means that Na'Vi can go back and do whatever it is. Roshan ends up very soon. So, if they want to contest around that, they know they have a huge advantage in terms of net worth. And fighting in the open pit is very difficult for Nip, although it might be one of the last shots they have. The one thing too that we haven't spoken much about before a fight potentially breaks out here is I really agree with Cinder and prioritizing skill kits far more. Imagine if they had an Agony Death board, then maybe they'd have a shot. Right now, he's still very far from it. He might just die.
Yeah, blast this and connect onto him, and Na'Vi, they want to fight shade charge you straight through with the nether strike, taking down the witch. Era has got how many slashes used it, but it should be not take the damage. Very nice call from you. Listen, fan, they're going to try to turn this one. They have taken down who, but Dendi, he's still sitting at max health. They heal from the bloodstone, and Hans and will pop there. So Nako finds a double kill. It's going to end up being a 4-2 trade, and Dendi is literally untouchable.
Yeah. This is the problem. Dendi is farmed, guys. What do? I really do like the fact that he went for Blink, though. That item actually ended up netting him a handful of kills in the mid game, and kept applying the pressure to Nip, so that Arrow was never able to have like consistent item progression. Na'Vi, just no matter what the situation, if they can play aggressive, they will. And that Blink purchase ended up doing a lot of work for them during this special stage of the game. And Nip right now, they're kind of on the also at the moment, seeing if they can form some defense here, but they don't have coil on the slashes on cooldown for about another minute. They will end up losing the middle racks.
I'm just gonna jump forward here, and the foot has been dropped as well. No, they just walking off. Phoenix as well. We're ready. The fight goes straight in there with the charge and still get Fisher on the limit a bit. Face shifting himself and keep him back, but the racks, they've been taken down. And IP, they really want to catch someone out at the back of this. They're going forward, the pass bounces are there, but Dendi now just pops the BK. He's out enough. He wants to find some Blink forward on the seal. It takes a quick stop. Ice Haskin. They get blown up. 4 years down at the moment. They're gonna leave him here. Friends of shit to no back to GG is called. No, they take the best of one.
I gotta say, Navi played a spectacular game. The one thing that concerned me from the get-go is just the fact that no one was touching Dendi in middle lane. Like, he was left there the entire time. He got to farm, builds his mech, and then he gets BKB. At that point in the game, it was already so hard to kill it that I'm not really sure what they can do. And then he gets the Blink Dagger, gives him more aggressive potential. They play off of that. Bunnick got a nice couple of punch charges in. Even with Jonas fan finding some pills after it